Now, speaking of Batfleck, we got this story where Ben Affleck, he's out here doing the rounds and he's talking to a lot of you know, people about stuff. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even close my last Ben Affleck story. Hold on as I do that. And now we can get into this story where, he's talking to British GQ and he was asked about his relationship with Jennifer Lopez. And child, based off of what he said, I was like, I kind of been saying that this is probably what caused their splitation. So the actor, who's 52, rekindled his romance with the singer, 55, in 2021, but the reunion was short-lived, with Jennifer filing for divorce in August last year after their 2-year marriage crumbled. The Avalanche remained tight-lipped about the breakdown of their union, yet has now insisted there was no scandal, no soap opera, no intrigue that caused their breakup. Admitting why he doesn't like to dwell too much on the split in interviews, he confessed that it wasn't a blame game, but the reason I don't want to share that is because it's just sort of embarrassing. It feels vulnerable. Well, I guess maybe, and one of the thing is that didn't J Lo say? Did we say that yesterday when she was talking about she looking for a new love like Jodie Watley? That she wants to get with a man who's willing to share his insecurities with her and vice versa and all that other stuff. So maybe he wasn't feeling that he wanted to be vulnerable with her. But they also address his participation in the documentary The Greatest Love Story Never Told, which is there's a reason why they're not told, because then hence why y'all are where y'all are. Part three of his wife's $20 million media homage to their romance. Fans were quick to point out how disinterested he looked in the doc, where he openly confessed he felt uncomfortable on camera and revealed he found their privacy sacred. Doubling down on his remarks, he explained, he said part of it was, okay, if I'm going to participate in this, I want to try to do it in an honest way and in a way that's interesting because I thought it was an interesting examination. Addressing the differences in their approach to fame, he continued, he said, my temperament is to be a little bit more reserved and private than hers. As happens in relationships, you don't always have the same attitude towards these things. And so I thought, oh, this is interesting because how do you reconcile that? Because exactly what you said is true. I love and support this person. I believe in them. They're great. I want people to see that. You got to own what you knew going into any relationship. Clarifying that he has a lot of respect for Jennifer, the Oscar winning actor added that fans would do well not to read too much into their documentary. He mused, he said, I think it's important to say that wasn't the cause of some major fracture. It's not like you can watch the documentary and go, oh, now I understand the issues that these two had. Now, he also talked about in the interview his first wife, Jennifer Garner. But, before we get to that, let's just address this. Now, I do feel like that I really believe the reason why their relationship didn't work is because they were on two different pages in regards of how they handle fame. Like he said, he handles things more reserved and laid back. Jennifer is somebody that I'm in love, I'm happy, I'm shouting for the rooftops, I'm an artist, so therefore I have to share all that in my work. Because Ben Affleck is not a singer. And I know, save the tomatoes, I don't want to hear y'all be talking about, well, neither is Jennifer. But look, she has a record contract. Let's put the shade aside just for a second. Regardless of what octave her vocals tend to be on, never the one or the two or the three or the four, never a five, because Miss Mariah Carey is the 5 octave vocal range. But regardless of how you feel about Jennifer Lopez, she has a recording contract. She's a performer who happens to sing. And they go fine tune all that in the studio. So now that we got all that out the way, um, she's someone that wants to put a lot of her personal stuff in her music. And she was just inspired, especially from that record None of Us Asked For, which flopped. The tour flopped. It was just, she was shouting for the rooftops. He was the type of person that's like, probably thought maybe she changed a little bit because, when you get a little more mature and older, you change your spots. But she navigates the industry a lot differently than he does. He doesn't like all the pomp and circumstance, all the spotlight. He don't like all that attention. She does. And when he's saying that I love her in so many ways, but you have to reconcile with the things about that person going into the relationship because you knew who she was when you got with her. And you have to come to terms with the fact that, you know what, I can't come in here and thinking I'm going to change this person when this is how they are. And we can't meet on the same page because I'm getting frustrated that every time we hanging out in the street, there's paparazzi. Well, sir, even post Jennifer Lopez, you're going to have to deal with people taking your paparazzi following you, taking your pictures, filming you, all that other stuff. You got to figure out how to navigate all that. He also mentioned something about Matt Damon, and how Matt Damon only now works with directors who make who are like filmmakers. So he only makes movies based off of the filmmaker, whoever's making the movie, because he's in that new film, The Odyssey, with Christopher Nolan. He was saying I might just even go down there just to watch them work because that's where he's at right now. It's just like I don't care about what the script and all this other stuff. I just want to work with the filmmaker. So I'm a director's actor, I guess, is where he's at. And look, you pay your dues. Y'all been making movies for like what? Since the 90s, about 3 decades. You're afforded that. So he also, as I said, um, talked about Jennifer Garner, who he shares 3 children with, and how they remain close since their split in 2015. Now, I will say this. I do love the idea that Ben and Jen have a rapport with each other, even though they're no longer married. And if you're in a relationship with somebody, you should be able to have that. So all these stories going around, Jennifer Lopez is jealous because he's been canoodling and hanging out, not canoodling, because canoodling makes it seem sexual, but because he's been hanging out with Jennifer Garner. I'm like, they're forever connected. Like, it don't matter who comes in and out of their life in a relationship. You got to be strong and stern in your situation to understand the relationship that that person has. Once you have kids with somebody, and once y'all been married, and well, I should say married and have kids, you're forever connected. Now, if you go into a marriage, y'all been married for a long time, and you no longer have children, then you can cut your ties and never have to be attached to them. But Ben and Jen have children together. So if you're gonna come into whoever life, so whenever Ben get him a new girlfriend who may potentially become his wife, or maybe he's no longer interested in getting married. And I'm sure with Jennifer Garner and her man, there's an understanding there that they know there's a respect, a mutual respect that they have for each other because they're parents to these kids. And then the people who are in the relationship with a Ben or Jen, they understand as well. But then you get a lot of these tabloids that just want to start all this insecurity mess. And I'm not trying to say there ain't no actors out here that's insecure, because trust and believe there are. But he said, I'm really lucky that I have a really good co-parent and partner in Jennifer Garner, the kid's mom, who's wonderful and great, and we work together well. That's because Jennifer Garner is that girl. We like Jennifer Garner over here. She's like Susie Homemaker in a way. And I've always loved me some Jennifer Garner. I loved her since Alias. I do remember when she was on the episode of Felicity. She did a couple of episodes of Felicity, but then I loved her ever since Alias. So then they also said that, but this is according to the Daily Mail, so take it with a grain of salt, that Garner is deathly afraid of falling back in love with the actor, with a source saying that she still has trust issues with Affleck after he slept with the children's nanny, Christine Ozunian, who's now 37, a decade ago. So she was 27 with young, fresh puss, and he was begging her out, possibly on that damn washer and dryer set, and said she loves Ben, but is worried that he will crush her all over again. She doesn't want to heal another broken heart because it's just too much drama. Plus, she does not want the kids to see round 2 of their mom in a bad place with their dad. So much could go wrong if they reunite. Now, the photos of Affleck tenderly embracing his ex-wife also resulted in Garner's boyfriend John Miller feeling a bit bothered about their touchy-feely behavior. And if he feels a way that I'm like, yeah, just let him know. That is like, I find that to be inappropriate. He said they said would get to anyone, but this is nothing new. Ben and Jen have a unique relationship. So that's why I say, yeah, there's always going to be when you're in a relationship with someone, that there's always going to be that connection. So as I said before, I tend to feel like I could definitely tell based over their relationship that Ben and Jennifer are just different. Jennifer, likes to put this on this perception that she Jenny from the block, or I should say Henny from the block. But overall, she likes that glitz, glamour, Liz Taylor type of lifestyle. And to me, Ben Affleck is this person that, yeah, I love the pomp and circumstance of Hollywood. Hollywood is a job. It's something like he said earlier when we did the Batman thing. I came in, I did my job, I went home, closed the blinds, and went about my business. So, and he's saying that he could have handled it in certain ways because based off his mood, but he always gave that vibe that it's just like, I just come in, do the job, and go about my business. I'm not here to get all caught up in all the extra pomp and circumstance of it all. Whereas Jennifer Lopez loves all not only the work aspect, but all the perks that comes with being A-list, celebrity. She likes the glitz and the glamour, but also the work that goes into her being able to work and then eventually have her playtime. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to what Ben Affleck had to say about his marriage to Jennifer Lopez? And I do feel like, you know what, that they love each other. I think he definitely cares for her and vice versa. But it's just, as long as they both have this profession, it's just going to have to be a love that they just not going to be able to share with one another because it's just going to keep being toxic. And we're going to keep being back here in the same situation where y'all get together and 2 years later y'all break up. Y'all can't seem to get past that 2-year curse. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.